See you sucker soon on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day.
Well, welcome to Capital Region today. We're so happy that you're joining us today. We have such a great lineup coming up. As always, there's so many good things going on in our community, and we're going to let you know all about them. This is our 1,152nd show. Can you believe that? The time just flies, it seems, when you're having fun, and I have fun doing this. But we're going to be starting out. We have our segments are New York Folklore, and they're going to be talking about, of all things, a blacksmith and his art, and I can't wait to hear more about that. And then we're going to be talking with Schenectady Light Opera. They're doing a show, Songs for a New World. We'll be finding out more about that production and who's in it and what's going on, and how they're coping with COVID as well, as is everybody else. And then we'll be talking with the Capital Region sponsor, a scholar, which is going to be a very interesting segment. We'll find out how you can become a mentor or what you can do to perhaps encourage a young person to stay on the course, I guess I would say. We're going to start right out with our first guest, and I have Ellie Mchale with us. She's the Executive Director of New York Folklore, and we're going to be talking about the art of a blacksmith, or the blacksmith's art. I want to get that right, Ellie. And with you, you brought Noah Khoury with you, and he's a blacksmith. So yes. Let's talk about the New York Folklore.
Well, New York Folklore is a statewide organization, but we've been in Schenectady since 2000. So we are a longtime resident of Schenectady, and
J Street.
And J Street, yes, we've been here on J Street since that time. We are a service organization, but we also do programming. So we have a gallery in our J Street location, and we try to showcase and highlight some of the artists that are doing work in traditional arts, which are those arts that are passed down in families and in communities and are nurtured in that.
Well, and I noticed that in looking at your website, and on occasion you'll be doing programs throughout the New York State, because you're not a New York State, a state organization, you're a private organization, New York Folklore. But you do encourage programming throughout the state, is that correct?
We do, and we have partners with Long Island Traditions, with Traditional Arts of Upstate New York, and with City Lore in New York, and then many other folklorists in the state that we partner with and we work with. Not every region in the state is covered, and so one of our missions as the state organization is to make sure that we, if there's not a folklorist working in that region, that we ourselves try to do some work.
Try to encourage them in that community. Right. And right now you brought Noah Khoury with you, and you're the Helderberg Blacksmith.
Yes.
Are there a lot of blacksmiths in the area, or in the state?
I think there's more than you'd realize, but it's still few and far between. There's not as many as there used to be, for sure.
Yeah. Now, when I think of a blacksmith, I always think of him, banging at the forging with the fire and hitting them with a hammer to do that. And I'm looking at him with these horseshoes, but you don't do horseshoes up there.
No horseshoes, no farrier's work.
Okay.
I focus mostly on ornamental ironwork, so a lot of railings and gates, home decor,
so you do that
things like that. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about art, do you actually create art? I'm not talking about a railing, but suppose you know somebody who is really into cooking. Would you make an art piece for them? Or if they're a stamp collector. I don't know. I'm making this up as we go.
My business is mostly custom work, so it's really whatever the customer wants, as long as it involves forged and fabricated steel.
Yeah, wow. And okay, let's take a look. First of all, what is that? That looks almost like a skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus or something. What is that?
I mean, it's not anything in particular. It's really just from my imagination. But it's definitely a skeletal sort of a.
And I think the picture's gone. Yeah. Can you bring the picture back up again so that we can look at it? There it is. Okay, good. And so this would be a representative of your art. How many pieces do you have on exhibit that are similar to this? Not that picture, but I mean, how many art pieces?
So I think that we probably have, I don't know, I think about 18 or so that was in the full spread of pieces going into the gallery, and they weren't all like that.
No, I know.
But
I said that was
yeah,
representative.
A variety of wall
Now you have
hangings
the
and
ones.
things as
Can you
well.
bring up the photo of the one in the? Yeah, that one there. Now that's on the wall. Now what are we looking at there?
So that's actually just a ornamental garden bench with kind of a young apple tree, stylized
love
apple
that.
tree.
That is
all
really
forged,
cool.
Forged steel, and the blossoms are copper. And that's one big slab of marble on there for the bench.
Okay, that's
See,
wonderful. And on the wall, are the pieces on the wall?
Yeah, those are just wall hanging pieces, wood backs, and everything else is forged steel. One thing that I like to do on some of my ironwork is I apply jeweler's enamel.
Oh.
So on some of the pieces, especially organic pieces that have plant life and things like that, I apply powdered glass while it's hot, and it actually melts
Oh,
and
it melts
blazes to
on.
the
Yeah,
surface.
I used to
and-
do pottery, and I used to sometimes take broken glass
Oh,
and
yeah.
drop it in the bottom of a bowl, and then when it got fired, it would give you a glass bottom.
Yeah, I've seen
and
that.
it
and
looks
it's
really
kind of
pretty.
Kind of a similar thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, but you don't fire things in the sense of putting it in a kiln. So how does that work with the glass? Does it?
So yeah, everything that I make goes through actually an old-fashioned coal forge.
Oh, okay.
So all the forming, all the big pieces that I make and then assemble are forged, and then on an anvil or under a power hammer. And then when I apply the glass, I'm using torches, so I can get a much
because you have to
cleaner
get the
focused
temperature
heat.
up there. Yeah. to melt
and it's
it.
way cleaner. Otherwise, there would be debris and little particulate getting into the glass.
Right.
So
I have to ask you. I mean, you're young. What made you get into forging?
my dad did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was an industrial mechanic and a welder who got into blacksmithing as a side business, and he was largely self-taught, but I grew up around it with him and just got into it at a young age. About 7, I started.
At 7?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And what metals do you work with usually?
Mostly today, steel. So
Steel.
hot rolled steel, low carbon steel, just everywhere at any steel yard you can get that. It used to be wrought iron a long time ago.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
always thinking, that it's iron, but not.
Yeah, that's not exactly available anymore. They don't really make wrought iron to any great degree anymore. It's available as like a specialty material, but that's kind of transitioned to steel, and that's available and affordable. So that's the material
But you said you
choice.
also use copper.
Oh, from time to time as an ornamental, material.
Okay.
It can be nice to have some contrast and different colors and
And they all
patinas
melt, or they all are forged, or
The copper-
at different temperatures, right?
The copper is usually worked cold, though you anneal it rather than forge it or
Okay.
form it hot. So it's brought up to temperature and quenched, being a non-ferrous metal, no carbon. It can be softened that way and annealed and then formed with a hammer on stakes or on hollow forms, things like that, and
Wow.
turned into like hollow forms, hollow
Well,
vessels.
because
yeah.
many of these would be too heavy to handle if they were solid.
Oh
Is
yeah,
that-
oh
so you
yeah.
use
Some
a
of them
form.
are heavy enough as it is. Yeah.
Yeah, without that. Yeah, and so I should hang on to my cast iron pans, right?
Definitely.
I use my cast iron pan. How about you, Ellen? Do you use cast iron
I
pans?
do, yeah.
I love them. They're the original non-stick pan.
That's right.
Nothing ever sticks to them. So the exhibit will be on for how long?
It'll be up until at least the end of March.
Okay.
So COVID has kind of changed our schedules all around. We try to do at least 2 exhibits a year. And this exhibit of Noah's opened in late November.
November, I
December.
think, is what I
Yeah.
had read, yeah.
So we'll have it up through March. It may be slightly later than that, and then we'll have another exhibit coming in for the summer.
One thing that we haven't really discussed is any of your art for sale at the exhibit.
Yes, I think Noah probably can say, but I think it's all for sale.
Oh yeah,
Is
it's
it-
all
is
for
it-
sale.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Less that I have to pack up and.
Oh,
that
yeah, you
would
don't want to
be-
carry it
yeah.
back home again.
Oh yeah, it is heavy. So.
Yeah. And where are you located? If somebody really wanted to have a nice forged piece, how would they contact you?
Oh well, I'm online, HelderbergBlacksmith.com and Facebook and all that. But people can just get in touch with me if you have a custom project idea, and we can come up with a quote and a design for you. And my workshop is located in Altamont, so
Okay.
not too far away from.
And how long,
Schenectady.
suppose I call you and I say, I have an idea and I have a birthday coming up that I'm going to give a gift to, and it's in 2 weeks. Can you do it?
That's a little bit tough.
That's
It
what I
depends how
want to
big
know,
the
is how
project
long does it take?
If it's a smaller piece and, it can be realistically put together in a couple of weeks, that's no problem. But as of now, for example, I'm probably backed up into like February to March, late February or March. And sometimes that can get drawn out way longer, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
Because, the weather's good and everybody's trying to get work done when they can.
Yeah,
So
they
that's
don't,
when
yeah, they
that's when
don't
it builds up.
think in advance sometimes to
Mhm.
do that. But I just am in admiration of anyone who does any kind of art to begin with. But to do that with metal just seems like an amazing thing.
Thank
So, and I wish you success, and thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having
It's
me.
just great to meet you, Noah.
Great to meet you.
But so Ellie, let's go back to some of the exhibits that you've had in the past. I know you've had art, all kinds of art. How about your next exhibit? Do you have that in the planning?
We have it in the planning stage. We've been talking to somebody who carves burls and lighting.
That's wood.
Yes, so we'll, and he's from Fulton County, so that's projected to be our next
Right. And
exhibition.
yeah, and COVID, like you mentioned that earlier. I just want to tell our viewers that everybody who's on at this table without their mask has been fully vaccinated, number one. And number two, we are roughly 6 feet apart. So we are, and anytime anyone is walking in this room, they have their mask on. We are trying to be very COVID compliant at Proctor's and to reduce the spread of this new variant, of course, is Omicron. And we're afraid because I understand now there's new variants of that virus. So I keep up with my medical background, so I do see what's going on, and I know that you are there as well. So
Yeah.
if I come there, would I wear a mask?
Yes,
Okay.
we are complying with all the state regulations, and we ask people to wear a mask in the
Absolutely.
gallery, yes. We were limiting numbers, but I think now with the guidelines that we don't count anymore, but we do expect that people will have a mask.
Yeah, they should wear a mask. And if they come together because they're in the same household, that's not a big issue.
Right.
But when you come in and you don't know who's there, I don't know, I'm very cautious even today with the COVID. And not only that, but I don't want to get the flu. I don't want to get a cold. So I love it. And I don't know about you all, but when you're outside, isn't a mask wonderful to wear? When you're outside in this cold, it just kind of keeps the inhalation of warmer air. That's great.
Right. And one thing that we haven't been able to do with Noah's exhibit is have an opening. We always have an
You
opening.
always have an
and a
opening.
Reception, but we were talking about giving a closing.
Oh, closing ceremony.
At the end. So
Yeah.
we have some kind of reception gathering.
Well, hopefully there's some art there by then,
Exactly.
because it may all be gone.
That's right.
I'm sure he'll have a few more pieces he can bring in.
Yes.
Ellen, it's always a wonderful to have you on the show.
Thank you.
One thing we didn't touch upon is Native American art. Are you still doing, or do you do anything with that?
We have artists we work with directly. We have a few pieces that are indigenous in our gallery shop.
Okay.
But, and we will probably have an exhibition at some point, but we do.
Yeah, no, I just,
several
that
artists,
is included. And you brought up another point that we haven't really talked about. You do have a shop there, so.
We do have a shop, yes.
So you can do your shopping. And not only that, but you're supporting local art.
We are. Everybody in our shop is, it's handmade in New York State. So it's, you're buying something that's a one-of-the-kind item.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
Oh,
being here.
thank
Yeah,
you
it's
very
much
much for having
success,
us.
and let's get rid of this COVID, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
And right now, I'm going to go over to Schenectady Light Opera. Oh, my goodness. So nice to have you on the show today. Michaela, right?
That's Michaela.
Oh, Michaela. Okay, I'm sorry. I got my guests mixed up here. I'm sorry. So, Michaela, that's you over here. And thank you for being here and telling us about, I like your shirt.
Thank you.
Songs of the New World. Okay, we have Michaela there, and we have Regan here. Okay, I got you straight now. And you're the stage manager.
I am.
What does the stage manager do?
So the stage manager manages everything that is not on stage, ironically enough. The director, does all the art. I take care of the lights, the costumes, the props, the sound cues. I make sure they have everything they need backstage.
Everything that goes on
that
behind
you don't see. Yeah.
everything. You don't do choreography.
I don't know.
No. But you do everything. That I can't even imagine, because I do this show, and I'm a stage manager in a way, because then the crew comes in and we put everything together.
Right.
I'm also the producer and host, and so I understand
Yeah,
that
it's a
you
lot.
got your hands full. But we have an artist here. You are a dancer.
I am a dancer and I'm understudying both of the women roles, yes.
Oh, you are. And in this COVID time, understudy is
Yeah,
good.
it's been tough. It's been really tough.
No,
wearing
but
the
I mean, you might
masks.
be the star,
I mean, I don't want anyone to get sick. They're my friends too.
Yeah, no, I know. But it's sort of like the movies, oh, she's they discovered her because she got caught in an accident and now she's a new star.
Gosh.
And you might be on Broadway next,
Who knows?
Yeah. How long have you been dancing?
I think the first musical that I did, I was in 7th grade. And being in the ensemble and doing dancing roles, things like that is, in my opinion, the most fun because there's less pressure on you. You have a lot more freedom with it than reading from a script and having a character that's developed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, who's the choreographer? I mean, did you design your own dances? Wow.
No. The choreography was done by Monty Velvet and Emily Fuller.
Okay.
They are also featured dancers in the show. They did an incredible job with the choreography. It's really symbolic to the lyrics according to each song. They made it their own.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And of course, when we talk about dance, that could be ballet, it could be tap, it could be what. So what is your specialty?
Probably mostly contemporary, like musical theater style dance is really up my alley the most. I really enjoy tap. I'm not great at it, but it's fun.
And they've done it on the stage with Schenectady Light Opera. I mean, I can't believe it when I look and they're all tap dancing. And so, where did they all learn how to tap?
I know, that show was incredible. I can't imagine having 10, 12, 15 people on a stage and having to make these intricate sounds.
I think they did it in 42nd Street. In 42nd Street, they did that.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I think that, but it was amazing. So I guess I don't know who wants to answer this. What is the show about?
So I can take that over. So Songs for a New World is a show written by Jason Robert Brown, and it's not your typical musical. There's no plot, there's no written dialogue. It's written as a song cycle. So it's a group of songs performed together with a common theme, and the theme is kind of about that pivotal moment in a person's life that kind of decides the rest of their life and the emotions that you go through when you hit that point. And our brilliant director, Rose Biggerstaff, she just took the show, which is typically performed with just 4 characters, simply named Man 1, Man 2, Woman 1, Woman 2.
Oh, isn't that awful? You don't even have a name?
Right.
Yeah.
And what they do is they just take turns and sing a song, walk off, another song comes on. But she just took this whole concept and said, you know what, the past couple of years has been crazy. Let's take that concept and channel it into these songs. And we'll take our own interpretation of it and added this amazing choreography, which you never see choreography, at least I haven't, when you see the show produced. It's a song cycle. And, we added all these dreamlike sequences that involves the dance, and it's all very conceptual, and it's just really cool to see something that is typically done one way and then turning it around and adding so many other aspects to it, which of course, again, with COVID going on, we have featured dancers that's also doubling as a swing, which Regan has been a rock star. It's hard enough to learn one part, let alone all the parts.
I know.
Just in
Case.
case.
Yeah, I understudied for something, and it was like, oh, I gotta learn all these lines, because you never know. And yet I saw, and I think it was the Schenectady Light Opera, although I can't recall, many years ago, when they did the sister act. I think it was the sister act, and the main character got ill. they were doing it with a script in their hand
Oh, no.
to do it, and it was perfect. I mean,
If they play it correctly, this is actually the second show this season that I'm understudying for. I did Ordinary Days as well. I understudied Claire and Deb earlier this year.
and you have to know both parts. You got to know the movement. You got to know everything about that part. And I know that when I saw this and the person did, I can't remember where it was, but it was probably 20 some odd years ago. And they had the script book in their hand, and they're doing it, but they were using it kind of as a prop. Apparently they'd read through it a few times, but they knew their part because they found out that they had to do it. So it's an amazing thing. That's the first time I've seen anybody do it with a script in their hand, and nobody really noticed. I mean, you noticed it, but you didn't notice it. It was nobody. So when was this written? Because this is totally unfamiliar to me, and I think I know a lot of musicals, but this one I don't know.
I think it was mid-90s, if I'm not mistaken.
Mid to late 90s.
Is it a show that you can change? I mean, like you mentioned, under COVID and blah, blah, blah. Has this been written so that every song is going to be the same in every production?
Not necessarily. I mean, you know, if you get a script, and what we're used to is you get a script, you get lines, you get songs, you get lines, you get songs. This is just lyrics. You know, there's no dialogue at all. So I guess in a way
you could throw another song in if you wanted to.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? No. It's against it. I think the interpretation of the songs can be changed.
Okay, all right.
For example, we have a song, and there's basketballs like in the choreography, you know, and like that's typically what we do with it. And I know the original Broadway cast, like the guy just came out and sang the song in like a basketball outfit, and we added, you know, everyone else in for the dance. And then there are also other songs that, you know, you could contemporize or bring back to a different like
era, maybe.
Yeah. So it's the interpretation of the lyrics can be changed, but the song itself, no.
Okay, I ask every person that comes on the show about, I mean, when it's a show, is age appropriate? What is your age, would you say, would be good for, if you wanted to bring your 5-year-old to see a music for the first time, would you bring it here?
I'm not sure, Regan, what do you think?
I would say it would be appropriate, but I'm not sure they'd be able to understand that it's not a plot and that these are all, each song is a disconnected individual situation. So I would
think
say
an older.
Yeah, I would say it is age appropriate, like you could bring your 5-year-old, but I don't think that they would necessarily understand what's happening on stage the whole time. Yeah,
okay, good. So at least we know. Now, when is this going to be produced?
We open very soon. Our first show is on the 21st, Friday, and we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday night shows, and we have Sunday matinees as well, and our last day is going to be on the 30th of January.
Okay, and I'm looking at this, and I see that Merrily We Roll Along is coming up.
Yeah, that is our next show. I believe it opens in
That's
March.
a Sondheim, and of course.
Yeah, it's a
Sondheim,
Sondheim, yes, and it's very near and dear to those that are involved.
But it's
right
a
now.
Kaufman and Hart, so it's got to be, fabulous.
Yep.
And then Violet, and I have no idea what Violet is. I know they're just doing some auditions for that, I think, as well. What is Violet about, or do you know? I'm not putting you on the spot, but
no,
if you.
I'm actually not too familiar about the show, but I do know that we have a new team, new to SLOP, coming for that, so that's very exciting. I know that's something that SLOP really wanted to do once theater came back. We wanted to bring in new faces, new ideas, and again, like what Rose is doing with the show, take a show that we all know and love and do something completely different with it. So.
And I'm just reading the writer says, Violet tells the story of a young woman traveling across the Deep South in 1964 in search of a miracle, the healing touch of a TV evangelist. Woo, say that 3 times.
That's a mouthful.
To cure a childhood injury. So it must be kind of but it's a musical, so.
Yes, it's a musical. Yeah, so she has like the scar on her face, and it's about, you know, like beauty and you know, she's like,
And
I
I
want to be
believe-
beautiful.
I believe the way that it's typically done is that the actress that plays Violet, they don't give her like a scar prosthetic. They just leave it up to the audience's imagination
imagine what the
to
stuff-
imagine what potentially disfiguring scar she could have.
Yeah, that's exciting. But I've been a fan of Schenectady Light Opera forever, and of course they're located on Franklin Street, and there's parking on both sides on one side and on the side and on the front of it. So there's plenty of parking to do
Yes,
that
plenty
too.
of parking.
And we want to remind everybody that they can get tickets. How do they get tickets?
You can get tickets online. We actually also work with proctors. There's also a phone number they can call, and you know, Facebook, Instagram. There's links everywhere. Everything is digital these days. We do require vaccination for our patrons.
Yeah. And your
Um,
cast, of course.
And our cast,
Yeah.
yes, and we are testing, and I know that's been rough, rehearsing with masks on, but we will start taking them off soon. They will be performing without masks on.
Okay, good. Well, thank you so much. Well, first of all, I want to thank you so much and keep those feet moving. Yeah, and I'll see you on Broadway, I hope.
Fingers crossed.
Wouldn't that be something?
It would
Oh,
be
yeah,
incredible.
Regan, I would love to see you on Broadway, yes. And hopefully Broadway will open up a little bit more. They've been having a tough time there as well.
Yeah, they really have.
Yeah, and so it's really great to have you on the show as
Thank you so
well.
much for
And
having us.
we'll be talking about, we'll be seeing you on, well, we won't see you because you're the stage
I'll be
manager.
behind the scenes.
You'll be behind the scenes running around to make sure everybody did everything right.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, we're going to switch over and we're going to be talking with Laura Marx. Well, you're right. Got a new hat on today because you've been on before, but not for this.
Yes, this is new for us.
Yeah.
Well, it's not new for the organization. It's new to talk about it with you.
Yeah, exactly. It's called Support a Scholar. Well, actually, Sponsor a Scholar. It's Capital Region Sponsor a Scholar
Yes.
Incorporated. It's a nonprofit, I assume.
Yep, we're a local nonprofit.
Yeah.
And we work with youth from Albany, Schenectady, and Troy high schools.
Okay.
And our main goal is to help them access college and
Uh-huh.
then hopefully graduate from college and come back to the Capital Region to live and work.
And to be a mentor.
Yes, so January is National Mentoring Month. So important part of our program is mentoring.
Mhm.
Every student that comes in the program is matched with an adult mentor. And it's really to be another person in their life to provide support, guidance, open their eyes to new opportunities, new cultures, and just stay with them throughout the whole process so that they have someone else in their corner who really can cheer them on.
Yeah, and it's important, I think, because, I mean, we've had Reading is Fun with Al Majid, and he's starting at this level, trying to get the kids to read more and to have a mentor to help them along. So at every stage in life, a student really needs someone that they can kind of work with. You've brought with you your a board member as well. Hi, so
Hello.
good to meet you today. And we're going to be talking about what do you do on the board? What does a board member do?
Well, each board member, joins committees on the board to, support the overall organization and to work with the staff. Obviously we have a small staff and, Laura does an amazing job. We have a great team, but overall, we're really there. My role on the board is to provide support. I'm on our program.
You're also a mentor, though. You didn't say that, but you
Yes.
are a mentor as well.
Yes, that's how I joined the organization, and really where my passion is. I learned about Sponsor Scholar about 3 years ago, just reading a newspaper article that was spotlighting the organization, and I just wanted to do something to support the community and just helping in this case a young man who attends Schenectady High is seemed perfect for me for what I wanted to do.
Yeah. So what? I don't know who wants to answer. What age group are we looking at?
So we start working with students in 10th grade.
10th grade. Okay.
And so our mentors begin sometime between really the 10th grade year. So by 11th grade, we hope to have them match with a mentor. And then we ask mentors to continue working with them through their first year of college.
Through college.
Yeah, so it's a long-term relationship, and we know often that first year can be a big transition in a student's life, so it's nice to have that consistency. From there, the official mentoring relationship from the organization standpoint is closed, but mentors and students tend to keep in touch. We've had mentors who've gone to college graduations or weddings, and so it becomes kind of a
you
lifelong
become a family
person.
almost.
Yeah.
An extended family. So I would like to address this to Stefan. I'm coming to you. I'm in 11th grade and I need a mentor. So what are you going to help me with?
Well, I mean, I think it really depends on the student, right?
Okay.
So I could definitely help, connect them with resources. Obviously, Sponsor a Scholar has after-school sessions and things they're sharing with the students. But for me,
Are you going to look to see what are my I don't want to use the word failings, but what I'm not good at? We'll put it that way. Are you going to help me with that, or are you just going to help me excel the things I am good at?
well, overall, I feel like the program's goal is to get the students, to college. And for me, like personally, I'm really happy. The student I'm mentoring, I definitely identified a major that has a great return. So, like if he were to ask me for help, I just try to help him. I think it could mean different things, right? So if he needs like help picking up an appliance, which happened once, I will help him with that. Or like if there's he's struggling with like his FAFSA application, like Sponsor a Scholar has resources as well. And in our case, we logged on to a Zoom together and we went through it together.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So you kind of, each individual would be different. So you're going to have to read that individual and see what they need and they're going to tell you what they think they need too as well.
Right, and maybe possibly they won't always come out and say it. Sometimes you have to press a little or kind of read between the lines. But I'm very fortunate. My mentee, Godson, is an amazing.
And he's going to be on the show next, so we'll be talking with him. But Laura, so I know you're looking for mentors, and the reason I asked you that is not to put you on the spot, but what would a mentor? Suppose I wanted to be a mentor, which I'm sure, you accept anyone that wants to be a mentor. What would be expected of me? I mean, if this is National Mentoring Group Week or month, we need to know what is it that a mentor does. And that's why I asked you, Stefan, what you were considering doing. But I'm going to ask Laura, what would they be expected to do? If I come to you and say, I'd like to be a mentor, but I have no idea.
Yes. And we provide training, so we do have a screening process. We also want to make sure that it's safe. All of our mentoring is done in the community, so it's setting up your own time of when you're going to meet with your student, your own activities. So we have an application and interview process, and then we do a 2-hour training. And from there, we then match up students and their mentors, really based more on shared interests and activities.
Oh, okay.
For that first year, or at least 6 to 9 months, it's really about establishing a relationship, establishing trust, learning to do things together that you both enjoy, maybe expanding some of your interests. Before you really get into academics or moving on to college, we want to make sure that they have a good relationship,
develop a relationship first.
And then once they move into 11th grade, we start working on maybe some career awareness. So thinking about what it is that they might want to do later in life and then how they might get there.
Right.
Start exploring some colleges, encouraging them to take advanced level classes in high school to start getting that college experience, doing SAT prep, and just really not doing it for them or with them, but really just keeping them on track and showing them where to go to be able to get the resources that they need to keep going.
So you kind of are, you're the person that they can kind of lean on if they need a little extra support. Is that correct?
Yeah, so like Godson,
Yeah, and he's going to be on next. I know you're going to leave and he's going to come on. So yeah.
I mean, his mother's a single mom, so he needs some help, getting to his SATs and ACTs, and I really just try to support with anything, like because someone like in his situation may not have all the same resources that I did growing up.
Yeah, and that's important. I want to thank you, Stefan, for being here and for being a mentor.
Thank you.
And being a board member that supports Laura over here. So Laura, how many mentors do you have?
Right now, it varies. So right now we have, I believe, about 80 who are
Okay.
currently
That's
mentors.
quite a number. It's a bigger number than I thought you would have.
Yes, and we need we have some mentors in the pipeline, but we need 10 mentors, especially males. So really across the country with mentoring, males are always in more need and harder to come around. So we have about 10 male students who are waiting to be matched with their mentor right now. And again, we matched based on interest, not necessarily what they want to do in their career, because in 10th grade, their ideas could change.
I mean, people are changing their career in the third year of college. So, what the...
Yeah, or even after they've been in a career for a
Yeah,
while.
after you graduate and you say, I still don't know what I want to do,
Yeah.
The joke is, do do you want fries with that? You know, kind of, because they don't know where to go with the job.
Right. So it's more about bringing experiences and opportunities to the students, and the mentors help with that. Bringing Godson here today, this is a great experience and an opportunity for
Yeah, we
him
have
to-
Godson right with
Yeah,
us right
so-
here. Thank you for coming today. And I know that he's not vaccinated, so he has his mask on, and so we're very careful about that. So thank you for complying with Proctor's and with us. So, how do you like your mentor?
He's amazing. I really like him. He helps out a lot.
Okay, and he's helped you.
Yes.
Yeah, and what are your goals, Godson?
I would love to study software engineering at Rochester Institute of Technology, and probably one day have a job at Apple and then make computers.
Oh, so you're looking at a computer, an IT job.
Yes.
Yeah, and do you feel as though that you have those skills right now to handle that, or are you still learning?
I would say I have some skills, but I'm open to learning a lot more.
Yeah. And what year of schooling are you
I am
in?
a senior.
You're a senior, so you'll be going to college next year.
Yes.
Do you have an idea where you'd like to go?
RIT.
Okay. Oh, Rochester. Yeah,
Yes.
very good school. Yeah, and of course it's not far, so you can at least visit mom, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to be that far away. So, how do you feel that the impact of having a mentor as opposed to not having one?
I would say it's very positive for me because I have someone to lean onto whenever I need help. Like on my SATs, I had someone to take me there and get me back. It was really helpful to my mom because she had to work long hours. So,
Yeah.
So it was nice to have him there to help me out a little.
So it's good to have someone that you can lean on a little bit.
Yes. That's
And
great.
now, can you call him at any time?
Yes.
That's a nice thing.
Yeah.
And you have his email.
Yeah, I do have his email.
This is just perfect.
A lot of texting too.
A lot of
Teenagers
texting.
like to text, so.
Yeah, texting, sure, which I don't do much of because I just don't do it. You know, I just figure either call me or, send me an email. So, but anyway, that's the difference between people that use a lot of texting, which works, and it's immediate,
Yes.
which is perfect. How many students do you have? You said you have 80 mentors. Do you have 80 students in
We actually
mentoring?
have, because mentoring goes through the first year of college, the numbers don't exactly match up. But at
Okay.
any given time, we can have between 80 and 90 students in our 3 high schools between 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. And then once they graduate high school, we continue to follow them throughout college or any other higher education that they're pursuing. So we have about 160 or so students in college that we're continuing to support right now.
Wow, that's a lot. Now, would a mentor have Godson and another student? Could they have two?
It's up to the mentor. They can. It's a one-on-one relationship. So if they have more than one, it's still kept separate relationships.
Yeah,
But
it would
sometimes-
be totally separate,
Yes.
but I mean, they could mentor
They
too.
could, and sometimes we have mentor or students who are friends and have different mentors. So sometimes they'll do group activities together.
Oh,
And we try to create opportunities where mentors can meet each other so that they have that support as well. Stefan is also, as part of his board role, is the chair of our mentor council. So we have a
Okay.
council of mentors who get together monthly to really talk about how we can improve the program, what mentors need, what more training they need, what activity ideas, so that we're really creating a network within that they can build on their own.
I mean, it's amazing what you do. Now, one of the things is, I understand that if you're a mentor, you probably do not get paid, but how do you get your funding because you've got to paper and there's certain things that you have to do that cost money.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
We're a private nonprofit, so all of our funding comes from individuals, foundations, or corporations. We're actually celebrating our 25th anniversary this up this year. So
Why did this
We
is the
have-
first time I've learned about
I,
this? Thank you for
that's part of
contacting
our-
me.
Yes, that's part of our brand awareness that we're
Yeah.
working on this year. More people should know about what we're doing, and
I
more
don't
people
think,
should learn how to get
I've
involved.
heard about mentoring, but I've never heard this one.
Yes, and there's a lot more that what we do with the program. We really make a deep impact in students' lives and really trying to close all kinds of opportunity gaps, whether it's financial, educational, and just, again, providing equal opportunities for students so that they can have that, be able to go to college or whatever their higher education goals are. So we look for all types of funding sources and just getting volunteers involved. If someone doesn't have time to become a mentor, we have other ways that they can get involved as well.
okay.
And so,
Do you have
certainly-
fundraisers?
We have a full-time staff member who does fundraising as
Okay,
well
good.
as myself, and we're always looking for opportunities, really just to connect with people.
And that's what you're doing today.
Yes.
You're getting that word out, which is very important. Like I said, I was not aware of it. And look how you've been gifted by having a mentor work with you and encourage you.
Yes.
Yeah, because a lot of times we just need a lot of encouragement.
Yeah. And what we often hear from mentors is that they get more, if not the same, but more out of the relationship.
What do they
as
say?
well.
Giving
So-
gives you more than receiving. Yeah, which is very true. Well, Laura, I want to thank you so much for being here and to talk about this. And Godson, I want to wish you the very best future.
Thank you so
And
much.
I hope that mentoring has helped you to achieve what your goals will be. I mean, I know what your goals are, they're going to change because life changes. So there's going to be a time when you're going to say, well, maybe I want this or that, and you'll be able to connect with Stefan again. Run it by him. Say, hey, what do you think? Right?
I will.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
Yeah,
having
thank
me.
you for being here. I just want to tell you what's going on in the community while I have a few moments. First of all, let me tell you what's coming up on the next show. Our next show, we're going to be talking about the 2021 taxes. Woo, taxes. Yes, and there's a Vita-free program. And then this Classic Theater Guild will be joining us to talk about Broken Glass. That's Arthur Miller's play. We'll be talking about homemade theater. They're doing a place called, they're playing our song, and I'm sure you've heard of that, sure. And then the Story Circle at Proctor's will be here, and we'll be talking about all of the great storytelling that they do, and they're doing word plays, and we'll be hearing about that. But I do want to mention, before I leave the show, that Beat the Snow concert, they had to cancel their concert last week because of the snow. And you have to expect that there will be cancellations because of our weather, or even perhaps other things that are happening, perhaps a spike in COVID. But they will be having a number of programs coming up, and I'm just going to run by a few of them. On the 16th, they're going to be doing Musicians of Malwick, and that's classical music. On January 23rd, the Etude Club of Schenectady, and that's an ensemble as well. And then, of course, our guest that was on our show previously, Roseanne Hargrave, is going to be performing Italian songs along with Michael Clement. And then on February the 6th, there's a book sale. Don't forget that book sale over at the library. There's always such great books for sale there. On February the 13th, Don Hyman, he's been on our show. Don Hyman is going to do Very Truly Yours, which is his Valentine's program. On February 20th, Schenectady Light Opera, they've just been on the show. We're going to be doing some musical samples. Carmen Lookshire, and she's been on our show as well, and is going to be performing with Life's Guilty Pleasures. That's Joe Carrick, and they are fabulous. You don't want to miss them at all. And then on March 6th, the students from the School of Music at SUNY Schenectady, they're going to be performing. And then on March 13th, I don't know if I got this right, it's Quintocracy, which is a woodwinds. They're going to be performing. Then on March 20th, the Empire State Youth Orchestra. On March 27th, we'll be looking at Bien Baez and Michael Clement in the opera, in the movies, which should be really great. And April 3rd, the Slate Hill Players. And they may be extending it depending on what's going on with COVID and if they have to get some new dates. So please check out their website and check out the Friends of the Library for more information on that and their book sale. I want to thank you all for watching us today. Our show is running just a little bit short today, but thanks for watching and have a great week. I'm Ann Perella, your host for Capital Region Today. And remember, Martin Luther King's Day coming up, and I hope that you'll enjoy your holiday off and celebrate such a person that was in our lifetime. Thank you.